All right. Who wants to go
Want me to kick
first?
us off? I'll kick us off.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that I haven't met, my name's Katie. I'm one of the leaders on our team. Feel free to reach out with questions, anything. I am in Vermont, so it's 8 o'clock here. I'm a mom of two girls. I work full time, so I know some of us do work full time, so I think it's always also nice to kind of hear how other people that work full time fit it into their schedules too. But I wanted to start off with I feel like we have a lot of new people to this industry. And I just wanted to share that so many people wait to feel like 100% confident in this business, right? But no one is ever 100% confident. I always use Emily as an example because I just remember when she started with Green Compass and how much she's flourished. Like, she is such an incredible leader now. And starting up, she just did the work, right? That's what makes you more confident. You get out there, you make the stories, you send the messages. You don't have to know everything about all the products. Like, I was telling my friend Megan, I'm like, if someone asked me right now and I didn't have the PDF in front of me and they're like, what are all 8 products? I wouldn't know right now, you guys, but that's okay, right? We're all learning together. And I just think it's important that we all know that you can still get out there and share, and your confidence grows and builds with that. So, confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of the action we're doing. So, just remember that and what you're doing. I just wanted to share that. But I wanted to start us off. I
Can
think
I
we
just
want to do.
piggyback off that real quick?
Yeah, you can.
I so I didn't sign with Katie. I signed with this girl named Morgan under Allie and under Katie. I messaged those three girls every single day. And I was like, what do you think about this? What should I say to this? What about this post? Like literally every single day. So they knew what I was doing. And so if you are kind of just flying under the radar and not really communicating with your uplines, like we don't want to bother you. Like to be truly honest, like we will follow up, but like we get to a point where we don't want to bother you. But if you're reaching out to us, we never ever care. We love it. I love it when people message me and screenshot me things. And of course, we have the chat for that too. But if you're talking to me, I know what you're doing and it's okay. The hand holding is fine, especially if you're new, because I needed that. I needed like constant reassurance and now I don't, right? So it's not like forever. So just please know that you're not bothering us. If we're busy, we obviously won't respond immediately.
Hmm. Yeah. And even like I still learn so much from all the other leaders in this team and from you guys. So I just know that it's everyone is constantly learning and none of us are ever going to know it all. But the more you continue to do the work, the more confident you'll get in sharing. I think we wanted to do a couple reach outs, especially for tonight. So even some last minute ones, sometimes that's when I get the most responses. If I'm like, hey, we have an opportunity call, just short and sweet, sharing about Atmosphere. It's in 25 minutes. Do you want to listen in? So I'm going to actually, Emily or Tabitha, it might be easier for you to put the language in there. I'll read it and you guys can, of course, make this your own. If it doesn't feel good to you, change it up. I think voice messaging is how I like to do it. I just think people can hear your excitement and know that it's personable and it's not just a copy paste message. So if you're able to do that or feel comfortable doing that, I always suggest that. If you don't, obviously writing it out is totally okay. But here's a couple of sample invites for tonight. Hey Tabitha, I wanted to invite you to a short Zoom. This was supposed to say tonight. Tonight at 8:30, we're sharing more about Atmosphere and what's been unfolding behind the scenes. It's super casual, just info and a chance to listen in. Any interest in learning more to see if this may be a good fit. And then, hey Emily, I know we've chatted about Atmosphere a little, so this might be like a little follow-up or a reminder if someone's maybe ghosted you or hasn't responded. Um, so I wanted to see if you were free for 20 minutes or so tonight at 8:30. My friend is going to dive into why this is a smart business decision. Can I send the Zoom link? So Emily put those there. So let's all just take maybe like 5 minutes. I'll set a timer and let's try to just knock out maybe 5 or 6 invites and see what we get.
And if you have anyone coming tonight, this is the perfect time to message them too. Just remind them.
And something else to keep in mind is when you're doing these messages tonight, like, let's be real, the odds that someone can get on in 20 minutes is probably slim. But what you're doing is you're opening the door and you're planting the seed and you're asking the question. And then there's going to be a call next week, right? And then it's going to boost the algorithm and they're going to see your stuff too. And so it's just, if there wasn't opportunity calls for us, then it wouldn't push us to do the invites and to do the work because I always say this, but like the resources are there for us. They put these calls in place for us to grow. And if we don't utilize them, then we're just doing ourselves a big disservice. All right, ready, set, go.
All right, I'm gonna mute so I can use my phone and you don't have to see like my seven chins while I do it.
Hey Esther, we are just using this message in the chat here, and we're inviting people to check out Atmosphere tonight. And so we're just kind of copy pasting that right now.
Hi, if you're just joining us, we're actually doing some reach outs. I'm gonna copy this in the chat. We have an example, but I'm gonna repaste it because I think if you just jumped on, you won't be able to see it in the chat. So give me a second. I'll resend it here. This is just an example of what you can send to somebody about tonight's call, even though I know it's in 15 minutes. But this is just a good way to plant a seed and just open the door to talk about Atmosphere. But let us know if you have any questions. I'm gonna set a timer for like 2 more minutes. Let's see if we can all at least get like two more messages sent out. Okay, that's been about a little over 5 minutes, I think.
Awesome. Do we want to share what was next, Katie? We're going to share like a little bit of our daily rhythm.
I think we're going to talk about the product next, but I mean, we
Oh,
can do
okay.
this too
That's
if you.
me. And Tabitha's going to help me
Okay.
because I'm not a skincare girl. Okay. We thought it would be really fun to highlight a product on our team meetings, like on all of them, just because, we don't have them yet. And we want you guys to be like really, really excited to like use these and feel confident when you get them so that you're not completely overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, now all of a sudden I have 8 products to talk about, and yesterday I had 0. Okay. So we're going to start with the Pure Refresh face wash. And I made you guys a couple little graphics. I will send these in the chat. This is something that you can just kind of like post in stories. And we're just going to highlight the ingredients here. And this is coming from somebody who currently doesn't use a face wash. If I use a face wash, I put like a little bit of oil on my hands to take my makeup off. And then I use like a microfiber cloth. And so this is going to be new to me. But the ingredients are important. And Tabitha, feel free to like chime in because like when I just use water, I'm just taking makeup off and I'm just like stripping, right? Like I'm just stripping like my microfiber cloth like cleans my face really good, but it's definitely very exfoliating and it feels very like I definitely I feel dry afterwards. But this is gonna put things in your skin, not just take your makeup off, that are really, really good for your skin. So the first one is oat protein, and that is gonna hydrate and also calms your skin. The aloe vera is described as very intense hydration and also just like locks in moisture. Lemon extract is a gentle cleanser. And then because it has the vitamin C, that really helps brighten like dull skin. And then prickly pear, another one for deep hydration, but also it has antioxidants. Um, and I have let me see. If
I,
you guys are in boards or steady too, whichever one you're in, there is a products folder, and then I've got all the product graphics in here, so it all and PDFs as well. So I'll just go ahead and pull that one up too. It says that it is ideal for all of the climates. Um, and the two key and oh, I guess it also has peppermint, which delivers a natural cooling effect post cleanse. So a lot of people have said they like it's very minty and they liked that. Um, Okay, and then let's see. Ideal for all skin types, all climates, and gently removes impurities, sweat, and buildup, refreshes and cools with naturally invigorating peppermint, and bounces skin for use in any season or climate. So we're going to all be using this. It is considered soap free, but it does get like foamy. Anything else, Tabitha?
Yeah, I wrote down that it's for all ages too. So all skin types, all ages, all climates. Of course, never any synthetic fragrance, which is important to sometimes note. So I remember her saying on the call that this would be a great, um, like to remove makeup. It will remove your eye makeup, which is great because you're going to have people probably ask you like, will it remove makeup? And a lot of people are doing like double oil cleansing. That's like a pretty big thing. And she said it would replace that. That's not necessary. However, if you did want to do that, like for anyone who feels like they are extra dry, I think that that can sometimes be a thing, but we don't have that piece here at this point, so we don't really need to talk about it unless someone asks you. But I would say like this is absolutely going to take care of what you need when it comes to cleansing. And the other thing too that I think is really cool that I don't really understand, but it stuck out to me on the call is she talked about how the aloe in the product is infused into the water.
Yes, I remember that too.
Isn't that cool? She made it very specific that the aloe was infused into the water in which that's a different process, it sounds like, than if it was just like added in or whatever. So like I think it's just more of on a hydration level. And like Emily was saying, you want to think about your skincare and you want to educate people this is just my perspective and my opinion, I guess, but you want to educate people on the fact that your skincare is like your nutrition. Like you are depositing nutrients into your skin. And so you want that to happen. You want that to occur because that's when, I always tell people like with certain products, it's like, well, this isn't going to necessarily like, it doesn't maybe remove your fine lines, but haven't you ever noticed where you look at someone, and I'm not being judgmental, but you look at someone's skin and you're like thinking their skin is dry, very dry. And what happens on dry skin? You see everything because it's just like everything shows up. But what happens when you moisturize it, the skin softens. And then you have like just more of a, just looks softer and hydrated. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that,
Well,
but
you know those little tiny wrinkles? They look like wrinkles, but they're not wrinkles when you look in the mirror and you have dry skin or you're just dehydrated. It like looks like you have little wrinkles. They're not wrinkles. You're
yeah.
just dehydrated. So it plumps your skin up.
Yeah, it just makes sense. So I think, just it's really cool with these types of ingredients. And I mean, I don't know that there's gonna be a whole bunch more to learn about these ingredients, but as we continue to learn and we maybe figure out a few ingredients that are specific for certain things, right? Like that do really a great job at X, Y, and Z. I think just explaining it in more of like the fact that you're really feeding your skin some really great ingredients in which then like your skincare will work, right? If the right things are there in place to feed your skin. Yeah, maybe.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be good for us to dive into each product just so we can learn more. I
Yeah.
am not a skincare person. So right now I use like generic, I can't even tell you guys because it's so embarrassing. So we'll just wait till I have the real stuff. Um, we just want to talk a little bit about kind of what our work day looks like and how we fit this business into our life. Um, I think it'll be good for us each to share. And then if you guys want to share how you fit it in now or how you would like to modify to fit it in, and maybe we can help kind of tweak your schedule to fit kind of your specific daily goals or weekly goals. But for me, because I work full time and also am my kid's taxi driver everywhere they go, it's really important for me, like on Saturday or Sunday, I always sit down and plan out my following week. So I'll like refresh my list so I know like during those small pockets that I can work my business during the week that I know like who I plan to reach out to so I'm not just dreadfully scrolling and wasting my time. So every Saturday, Sunday I refresh my list. I plan out I try to have some type of idea of what business posts I want to do on Facebook. I probably won't write the whole thing out, but I'll give like a couple of ideas for myself. So like when I come back and I'm ready to write it, I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted to write about. I try to plan out my reels, at least to kind of have an idea of what I want to do. Um, and then make any graphics that I want to use. Graphics are not my forte, so you won't see me being creative in that. I try my hardest, but that's really more of an Emily Tabitha thing. um, but time blocking is how I survive during the week. So when I'm sitting down planning my week, I will look at my following week and say, okay, on Monday, I'm free from 12 to 1. So that's when I'm going to work my atmosphere business. And when I'm working my business, you guys, that means I'm silencing my work phone. I'm actually putting on a timer, and that's all I'm doing. So even if someone responds to a message I just sent them, I'm not looking at that response. I'm continuing on my list of what I had planned. And then usually like in bed before I go to sleep and I'm like scrolling a little bit, then I'll do some responses or I'll save those responses for the next day. So every on the weekend, I just look at my next week's schedule and see when I can time block. And some days maybe it's only 15 minutes in certain areas. But if you can fit 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there in that same day, like you'll be surprised about how much work you can get done when you actually stay organized and keep your lists updated. Set that timer so you're not kind of scrolling off on social media doing other things.
Awesome. I can go next. Sorry, also I have a cold right now, so if I sound like really weird, that's why. Okay, so for me, so just like Katie said, like I have ADHD, so when I'm working, I have to like turn off my notifications. If you guys text me and it says my notifications are off, like I kind of have them off all the time. I just check my phone when I need to check my phone because I just get so distracted. But reach outs, like they like take me a long time to work up to for some reason, but then when I get to them, it's like boom, I'm done in like literally 2 minutes. So they don't take a long time. So just make sure you set aside like the 10 minutes that it takes to actually do them and boom, 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 shoot them off. I try to do 3 to 5 a day and like about 20 to 25 per week. And just know that that comes from somebody who already has probably messaged 200 people in February because I went ham. Um, so now I'm like, let's just I need to slow myself down a little bit. I do love listening. Like if I'm gonna be going for a walk or drive, I love listening to like a little bit of like PD every day. And I love this podcast, and I will send an episode to our little group chat after this. But it's Your Virtual Upline. He's his name is Bob Heilig. He's been in the industry for a long time. And if you're new to network marketing or you're like just kind of like ready to build a big team, but you haven't had one before, highly recommend listening to him because we should get him to do a call for us because he is really good. And I just love how he really taught me how to talk to people like a real human and like kind of remove myself from the equation, if that makes sense. Like, this isn't about me. This is about the person I'm talking to and whether or not they feel like this company is a good fit, this company that I happen to be obsessed with. And so, making it about them and not making it about like me. So I love that podcast. I am also a content creator, so I'm posting like a lot of reels, and I just want you guys to know, like, please don't compare to me because like it's just a thing for me. And I batch create all of those. I sit down on Friday and I spend like 3 hours doing that. And that is like a little excessive. You do not need to be doing that. But I get them all done on one day and then I don't have to worry about. So every reel you see me posting, like they were all scheduled on a Friday. And they're like, it's like capture content for me. It's not necessarily usually about Atmosphere, but it's like relationship building type posts and getting new followers. Um, but where I seem to get the most interest is stories, which I do every other day. I do like 3 to 5 stories, and they're not all about Atmosphere. I try to like have, maybe one every day. Today I didn't have one, but I like did a bunch yesterday about Atmosphere. So I thought today I'd take the day off of that. Because you want to mix a little bit of, your life and other things in there too. And then I also get a lot of interest on Facebook. And Facebook, I do not plan any of that content ahead. I just kind of throw it up when I'm like, oh, that's funny. Today, my son, I had my water bottle in my car and he's like, what is that thing, Mom? And I was like, this helps mommy not get lip wrinkles. And he goes, you sure it works? It's like, okay, that was funny. That's what I posted this morning. Just like silly things like that. And then, every other day I usually do a business post because Facebook is your hot market. Like that's your real life friends and family. Like most of us are not friends with people on Facebook that we don't know in real life. And so I would definitely use Facebook if you're not. Um, and I'm very scatterbrained. So if I have a lot of ideas in a day and I'm not going to post them all, I will just like put them in my notes section and I'm like ideas and I just like write them all out so that when I'm in my luteal phase and I have no ideas, I can just go to my notes section and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good idea. You know, so a post doesn't have to take 30 minutes for you to type it up. It can just be like a quick little 10-minute, what's on your mind. Also, you have people like me and Tabitha and Katie and Allie. You are welcome to take what you see us putting out there and copy that and maybe just change the wording a little bit so it sounds like you and use a picture of yourself. You almost always on Facebook want to use a picture of yourself because people just connect with faces instead of, other things. But I just noticed like when I like today I used a picture of like my awards. Doesn't get as good of, you know, engagement as if I used my face. So just anytime you take a selfie and you're like, oh, I look cute in that, just save it in an album so that you have all those pictures ready to go so that, you know, if you're like me and you're sick today, you're not feeling like I got to take a picture of myself sick. I can use one of these pictures that, felt good in. Also intentional scrolling because again, I have ADHD. I I pretty much don't get on social media anymore unless I'm working and kind of have a job to do. So I'm like, what am I coming on here to do? Am I sending messages? Am I checking my messages? Am I going to scroll because I have need to like look for some ideas for my content? Um, but if I was going to scroll for fun, I would definitely set a timer for that too, or I'd get sucked into that and waste a ton of time. And then we're like, we have no time to work, but we scrolled for 2 hours. So
Okay, I'll try to keep this short. I feel like I could talk for a really long time about this, and everybody's different. Like I do this full time, so for me, like this is gonna look different. Emily does it full time. Like it's gonna look a little different for everyone. So keep that in mind too, you know? But I remember when I worked how I did this and how I fit it in, and then now how I fit it in. So one thing to think about, because I mean there's a lot of tasks and they kind of went through like what they do, but I think the thing to think about is how many conversations like there's not always going to be like a I don't have this system. I just don't. This isn't how I operate because my brain and it's like all the tabs. So I oftentimes like I'll post about every other day and I'll do stories like every other day. But I always think about I always gauge like my conversations. Okay, do I have a lot of conversations right now that are good and on the verge of someone jumping, right? Because if I don't, if you have nothing going on right now, then you know what you need to do, right? That's where you're like, okay, I got to get something going. And so I kind of gauge, like, I mean, it's good to have a routine of like, okay, you're going to at least reach out to 3 people per day. Like, it's not hard, you guys. And if they say no, guess what? There's 10 people waiting for you to reach out to them to say something about this business. It's just that you haven't found them yet, you know? So I think just thinking about that and making sure that you're like what I don't know, it depends on your goals for your business and that's a whole other topic, but like I always say have like 15-ish conversations going at one time, right? And that just means that you're sending out some invitations, you're talking to a few people, they haven't given you an answer, you're still in conversation. Maybe you had a couple people say no, so we love them and we're happy for them. We wish them the best, but they're going out of our space and we're making room for new people. And now we're reaching out to new people. And then we have people that we have to follow up with that we talked to a couple days ago that we sent recordings to. And you see how this is just like a constant thing that is actually really fun. It's really fun to like crack the code and figure out who wants to join us and who's going to be the next one. Like, do you ever just like get up and you're like, all right, who's going to join me today? Like, who's going to like, and I know that that's a hard sometimes mindset if you're feeling like you've got a lot of no's, but trust me, the right people will come into your path if you're doing the things and if you're opening your mouth about it. And the other thing that I think you got to think about when we think about action, like I could give you all the actions every single day, like do this, try this, throw this at the wall, post this, talk about this, right? I could give you all of those things. But if your energy and your excitement and your fun level is not there, it won't feel fulfilling. Like for me, I could literally work at this business all day. And I have to say, Tabitha, you're gonna have to shut this down because like this isn't good for you. Like your nervous system is gonna be because I just get carried away. And I know there's a few of you on this call that are resonating with that. And I'm looking at you. And but it's a great thing. But anyways, I think the best thing is like just to have so much fun with it and fail forward. Right? Like I mean I've never been a part of a launch where it's a brand new company in the US, right? I've never done that. Don't know. That's like so we're just all learning and so just have so much fun with it and allow yourself to just kind of figure things out and give yourself the space to do that and to grow um and you will.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, the reality is there are people out there right now praying for what we have to offer them, right? Whether it's financial stress relief, they want they're so frustrated with their skin. They're looking for a new routine. They're looking for a supportive community or culture, and they're only going to find it if someone is brave enough to share it with them. So that gets to be us. We just have to talk.
Just gotta get out of your way and stop worrying about, the fear and all of that. Just get used to being rejected. If you're ADHD like me, we've seen a lot of rejection. We're not everyone's cup of tea, okay? So the more you're told no, the more you're like, okay, bring it. I'm almost like sending a message and I'm like, go ahead, tell me no. Come on, tell me no. If they tell you no, you get to go to the next person and you don't have to talk to them anymore, right? Unless they say something like, I wish I could, I just don't have the money right now. Well, then we're going to talk about that because they're giving you a little bit of like, I wish I could. They're not saying no, but if they're like, no, thanks, not interested, we just cross them off. Um, so yeah. And also, do we want to do the goal thing, Katie? Do we want to do that now or do we want to maybe answer questions? Does anyone have any questions about like what you should be doing right now that you're like having a hard time with?
This is a safe space.
And I think right now too, like I mean, we all know this, but it's like what, is it 4 or 3 more days
I
until,
think isn't it
I've,
5?
oh, it's 5. Okay.
yeah.
So it's like, just kind of reiterating, sharing. Like I was having this conversation with Jess, and I think she was on here, but I don't know if she still is. But um, and we were like, this creates urgency for people to come into this and be a foundational affiliate. Now, urgency's good. I mean, let's be real. It doesn't matter if they enroll today or if they
Mhm.
enroll next week on this day. Like, and they're not a foundational affiliate. Like it doesn't matter. It's not going to make or break their business, right? So when this window, like, because I had a girl ask me, like, how are we going to kind of navigate this after the window's closed? And I'm like, we're just going to say, like, it doesn't really matter. Like at that point, it's like we're all just here and it's still a wide open door, right? But my point is urgency is good. Because people will drag their feet a while if and sometimes that just gives them the boost to kind of like so kind of honing in on that the next few days, I think is really good just to kind of like do when you do follow-ups and say like, hey, just wanted to reach out and let you know that like we only, there's only 4 more days, 5 more days, whatever, to um, you know, secure that spot kind of thing.
And that's what you can be saying in your posts right now and in your stories, like 5 more days, 4 more days. Like that does create that sense of urgency because people want to just be able to say they were a foundational affiliate. They do get access to like the bag and like a hat or something like that. That is like a special thing you get. But like after the 17th, like Tabitha said, it's not like we're going to be like, okay, now we just kind of sit here for a week. We're going to move on to like, do you still want to be one of the first? Like that's what we're going to say the next day, you know? So, but I'd love for you guys right now with 5 more days, put in the chat how many people you're going to sign in the next 5 days. How many foundational affiliates do you want to sign? I'm going to put 5 in the chat. I want to sign 5 people, one a day. Whoa, Tabitha, everyone's kicking my butt. Okay. I'm I'm playing small here.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
10 and I was
I
You,
like,
love this.
yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to have to up my number.
well,
Yes, Mary. Okay, 5.
When you guys like put this into existence, you're so much more likely to get this. Like you just told us out loud. Like tell people your goals out loud. Like tell your upline how much money you want to make in April. What for your first paycheck or your May paycheck, whatever it is, your 6 month paycheck. When you like speak that out loud, you are so much more likely to hit that goal than if you just keep it to yourself where it's safe. I love this, you guys.
And I just want to reiterate what Emily said at the beginning. please know you can message any of us with any questions that you have, or if you need language help or a post help. Like Emily said, I feel like so many people are like, oh no, I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, no, bothering me means you're working your business and you're hitting your goals. Like, I want you to bother me. Like, you're not bothering me when you're putting time into your own business. So know that we're all here to help you succeed.
The people
I
most
used to,
successful are working closely with their like mentor, upline, sideline, whatever. Like we're always like, even though we know we have experience, doesn't matter if you don't or do, but we still as leaders are always like, all right, should I do this? What should I do? Like Emily's like, should I reach out to this girl? And I'm like, yeah, you should.
I
Like,
did it right before this, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was like, should I reach out to her? Because it's somebody I'd never talked to before, but I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I did. Um, but
And
also like I
sometimes
used to
you
think,
need that little boost of confidence, right? Like it helps
yeah,
to have like someone be
yeah,
like, do it, just do it.
yeah.
just send the message. And I used to think I was bothering Allie because she was like way up above me, and I didn't sign with her. But like, just know, like, you can reach out to any of your leaders. And I wasn't bothering her. And now she's like one of my very best friends. And you'll also notice that, like, when you're active in the chat, you're going to kind of jive with some people. Like, feel free to like start your own little group chats and like break off into little pods, like little accountability pods. Like, this business is how I've made my very best friends in my life. So, like if you're like looking for somebody, like feel free in your group chat, just be like, hey, is anyone looking for an accountability partner? Like someone that I can text every day and we can share what we're doing and what's working. Because yeah, that's what makes this business so special, I think.
I love that. All right, any other questions?
So excited for the products.
Oh, I know. I hope the shipping's like,
Very fast.
I know. Everyone's like,
mm,
how long? I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, it's coming from Atlanta, so it can't be taking that long, right?
And then I'm just like, they have like, I mean, I don't know how all of it's going with like the system there and them shipping it out, like, and the people and you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was wondering that too.
So Esther, what I did with coworkers, I just, if you have their text information, I would text them. If you're like, okay, so for me, I'm not always the most comfortable like talking in person. I am now, but I wasn't in the beginning. And so I would text them or message them on Facebook. And also a lot of people, because I was so consistent on Facebook, a lot of my coworkers would actually come to me because they would be like, I saw what you posted. I think I want to talk to you about that. And if I was still feeling nervous, I'd be like, yeah, totally. Like, what's going on? Like, and I'd be like, okay, cool. After school, I'm going to send you some information. That way I didn't have to well, like right there in person. I'm going to send you some info later. Um, yeah, so we can order them on March 24th. If you guys are plugged in, please be plugged into your group chat on Facebook. So we will let you guys know like how to order and everything that day. I'm sure it's going to be a process just like signups were. Um, and then we can get the products. And once you guys have the products, you guys can start talking about the products and you can kind of get a wait list going for people that want to order. So,
yeah, I would be making a separate like list of the people that you talk to and they're like, but I am interested in products or I am, make sure because then like I plan the day that the public can get the products. Like I plan to have like a massive list of people that are going to want to order that day because
me
that's going
too.
to be huge.
Yeah. And if someone is like really interested in the products, I mean, you can just tell them like, hey, if you think you would share in any capacity, you might as well join, and then you could get all 8 products at 30% off. Like some people will want to get all of the products. So, and I'm actually, if you guys think you're going to have a lot of people interested, I'm actually going to make a jot form. And anytime someone's interested, I'm going to be like, can you fill this out for me? And I'm going to have questions in there. When I make it, I'll send it to you
Smart.
guys.
That's
Like,
smart.
where do you live? What kind of climate?
Mhm.
What kind of climate do you work in? Because I want to know, are you interested in which of these bundles? Something like that. And that way, when I reach out to them, Like I'll know exactly what they want and it'll be organized.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah, we'll all just navigate it together, you know? It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Too.
I feel like we're just like hurry up and waiting right now. Like that's the mode we're
Hurry
in.
up and wait. Yeah.
All right.
Anyone have any other questions? And if you guys have like on our next team call, if you're like, hey, we'd really love it if you shared about this or talked more about this, like just message one of us and we can make sure that we plan a call around that.
All right.